Hello there, and welcome to the second series of the semi-finals of the Grand Championship Series. This series is between two rivals. We're starting 1 minute in, thanks to a few CPU issues of our dear friend Stormless. But regardless, the two players we have for you today are on an epic journey, and this match is going to be a very, very good match indeed.
That's right, we're expecting the very best for two of the community's best players here, HelpingHans versus Luvnest. Hans has already chosen to play the Brits. His, not sure if he is at the moment, but is previously #1 held for a long time, best faction. And Luvnest has always been strong with the austere. This is going to be a beautiful game.
It's going to be a fantastic game, but Luvnest's already been strong with austere, but HelpingHans has won major tournaments with the Brits. He won the Kickoff Cup with the Brits, and he won famously the March monthly final. Who was he playing in that final, Dan?
He was playing Luvnest, actually.
There you go. So he's beaten Luvnest to claim his biggest achievement, quite frankly, in life, HelpingHans, and that's not an understatement. He's a professional gamer as a living, and the biggest tournament he won, he was playing as Brits against Luvnest in April 2016 in the final of the ESL Go Forward tournament series. He won, and it was against Luvnest, and these two have a lot of history together. They are the two eminent celebrity streamers of the community. No offense, Dan or Von Ivan, but these two are pretty much the two at the very, very top. And they're there for a reason, because people tune in to watch their top 5 player in the world level play. But when they get into tournaments, these guys are Seed 2 and Seed 3 respectively. So this is, on paper, Dan, such a balanced and fiercely aggressive and competitive matchup.
It is, yeah, and if they're playing anything like we've seen them on previous weeks, it's going to be one hell of a series indeed. Let's have a look at how prepared each player is going to be to make aggressive pushes at the start. Let's see, they're going to be testing each other right now. They're going to be trying to feel any weakness in each other's play today. And both of these players, one is very, very build order focused, very good at analyzing the field. The other is intensely micro-focused, but they both lean into each other's skills so well. So this is going to be a great match, and I just can't emphasize and keep saying how much of a great match it's going to be. But here we have at the start of the game, Hans was trying to push the right-hand side of the map on Kolodny Firma here. It's actually Luvnest who seems to have come out on top, because of course he has 2 VPs and his resources at the start. Hans is fighting for control of the south.
Very much Ryu versus Ken, two very evenly poised players playing each other. And at the moment, the battle for domination has gone in HelpingHans' favour. He's able to get rid of Luvnest's Grenadier there with the 55 cal sniper opening up with a great shot. And another great shot goes in against Luvnest's 2 support weapons, who are quite frankly going to be sitting ducks and target practice for the British sharpshooter.
Yeah, he made a good decision to pull off the assault there. Support weapons just not quite in the right positioning to deal with that. And Hans, again, like great constraint, because he's kept his units in there, even though there were 2 models, prepared to he's prepared to make the work. He knows how the engagements are going to go, and he's played that very well. Just see that he's gone up to 5-man squads there for the Brits, so he's going to make sure that he outmatches those Grenadiers at every point on the field.
Every point on the field is possibly going to be contested, and throughout this game, Kolodny Firma is going to be turned into a battlefield like no other. It's right now, though, Dan, it is in HelpingHans' favour. He's just taken the cut-off, and now he's constructing a sandbag fortification on the fuel point, and he's getting more of these sappers on the field as well. So he's going heavy into the infantry combat for now.
He is, yeah. Look at this from Luvnest, though. He's going around the back of the map for the sniper there. I'm not sure if Hans actually maybe has predicted this might happen, because his sniper is running away. Will Luvnest click onto it? Yes, he does. It's been trapped. And Luvnest is going to try and chase that sniper down. Hans has to hit the retreat button. That's going to give Luvnest a little bit of a chance to sort this situation out. But look at the long retreats Hans has to do with these low health.
Oh my god, there's literally 8 Mauser Kar 98 rifles, making Tommy's path to the base very difficult here.
He was very lucky to get away with that squad. There's another one this time, but the 5-man engineers are going to be able to clear out the Grenadiers. It was a really nice play from Luvnest trying to go around the back there. He's also got to watch engagements for Grenadiers on the south, and he does, and calls the retreat on that one. But Luvnest, just making a very, very good flanking play. That's something Hans was actually in tune to. He was alert to it, and he already had the idea to get the sniper out of there. So we're looking at 2 players who really do cover the bases. They really do predict everything that's going to happen, and That's what makes players like this, when we get games between them, that's what makes them so interesting.
The Mortars doing great work against the Royal Engineers here. The Welshmen are going to have to run home with their tail between their legs. The sniper of Helping Hands has just retreated back to base because he wants to get the heals up that the Tommies are going to be able to distribute to him very shortly. And then we're going to be seeing a dance in this game in the early to mid between the Mortar and the Sniper, who can do the most work.
Yeah, it's an important mechanic. I mean, the Mortar does great work against the British infantry when they do try to take cover to get that increased rate of fire on their rifles. The Mortar is going to be great at keeping them moving, keeping the health down. It's going to allow that kind of disparity between being a 4-man squad and a 5-man squad. It's going to make that a little bit easier for the Grenadiers to deal with, especially as the Grenadiers get a little more equipped, they get a little more geared up. Then things are going to start changing a little bit in that respect. But Hans is doing really good to connect the strat points together here. He's getting a good resource income at the moment.
Luvnest has always favoured these MG42s. He's always gone for them because he likes the superior DPS he can put down in the stationary, tactically superior positions. He can just bevy these Tommies with sustained fire and do great DPS over the course of a battle.
I think they are good in that respect. They are good at the long range. I mean, especially on a map like this, where the Grens, it's not like you can run around like a headless chicken with the G43s. There are narrow corridors to this map where it might be better for the LMGs to open up over distance.
Half track coming on the field for Luvnest. Already, by the way, getting the flame projector. He's seen 5-man squads, but look at Helping Hands with the build order supremacy. Helping Hands with 6-pounder being built almost immediately, so he's got the counter out on the field for when it hits.
I think he's one of these players as well, like the top players. He realizes that this is a tier 2 time. It's a potential for something to come out for tier 2. He's going to get himself prepared for it. 80 guns out within 10 minutes is a kind of standard, really. So he's getting himself 80 in good time. That just comes on the field now. How much is it going to help though against this flamer?
Done. Another thing we've got to mention is there's 3 modified M6 mines around that church area. There's 3 of them. That is going to protect Helping Hands, his sniper, his AT gun so much against aggressive play from Luvnest. And this battle, Dan, I can already sense is building up to be an absolute classic. It's none of that frenetic, frantic play that we saw with Devem versus Von Ivan, where they looked like they were trying to rip each other's throats out from the get-go. It's a slow build of expert level play that will build to a raging and rising crescendo. So they're like 2 orchestras building very slowly. It's going to be an amazing game.
It is, yeah. It's like the way that they play. It's so controlled and constructive. And, they both have like ways of dealing with each other. We may just see the first squad wipe here at the moment. Hans losing a squad of Tommies in the center to a little bit of a concerted effort from the MG and the Flamen half-track. But that's going to be the first squad wipe of the game. Luvnest pulling ahead on infantry in the field. How is Hans going to match this? I think it's going to rely down to commanders, of which we have no pick yet.
We have no pick yet, but he is the kind of guy that can make big comebacks. He's famous for 1VP victories. He's one of those players that can always find a way back into things. Some days he has fantastic psychology. He's a world beater. Other days, his psychology does leave a little bit to be desired, so we'll have to wait and see which Hans we've got today. Is he going to lament his quote-unquote luck or lack thereof? Or is he going to come back fighting and find his way back into this after losing that Tommy squad to the vile flames of the half-track? And I'd wager, Dan, that since 2016 we've seen Hans be the former rather than the latter more times than the other. He does tend to find good psychology in tournaments, it seems.
He does, yeah. And I think when you play the game for this amount of time, you realize that things can change any second. That is the kind of game this is. I mean, you could be in a great position, and then all of a sudden it can just flip right over. And you have to deal with that psychology, but you also have to deal with that on the field. And you just have to keep that little thing in the back of your head. RNG works both ways in a game like this. And it's all about containing it, managing it, making sure you're always in the best position that you can be at any time, and just accepting it when things do go wrong and recovering from it. That's something that Hans does very, very well now.
The battle lines in this particular game are completely drawn. Helping Hands has 2 victory points in his favour, but Luvnest not lagging too far behind on map control. It's a yin-yang split on Kolodny Firma, and both players are in a good position to make a real good go of this. Must be said, though, Luvnest, with a superior victory point count and a squad wipe under his belt, does look likely to build into the mid-game a little bit earlier than HelpingHans, and we're going to need HelpingHans to make a bit of a play.
I'm not 100% sure that's true, because Hans has already got his tier 3 up. He's already on 115 fuel. He's only got to save. He can have a Cromwell out in the next 2 minutes. I think that would be... in fact, Cromwell is actually in the build now.
There you go, the Cromwell is coming out, as rightly said. Dan, though, don't you think that Luvnest has enough counters on the field to deal with the Cromwell?
It's a tough one. I mean, this is going to be a great unit on the field because it's so quick. It's going to be a big to get round. It's still got good power against infantry, so it's going to be a very useful thing for him. And it's out early. It's out against the Flamen half-track and an AT gun, so it's a very, very good unit. It's going to be able to keep the VP control for a long time. And it's just going to be down to Hans to pull something out a little bit later.
Half-track's got to watch out in the south. Oh no, the minesweepers are there. They've found one of the modified M6 mines. That's a good stroke of luck, because that half-track very may well have gone up that road then and met its doom.
Luvnest has been very, very careful with that. He's got 2 minesweeper squads at the moment because he knows that Hans has been laying mines. He's already come across one of them, and now he knows. And he hasn't overstepped the mark with that, Flamen half-track once. He hasn't done anything wrong with it at all. He's always kept it within his means, kept it defensively against the Brits, and he's got good map control for that.
Here we go then, the Cromwell's on the field. This cruiser tank, very good speed capabilities, an armament that can deal with all targets, to be honest. It can flank tanks, it can destroy infantry. The only thing it can't do anymore is crush, but it's still very, very good tank.
It's been a lot more difficult to crush with it now. Mortar pit just going up by the church there, and that's going to start to put pressure on all the support weapons we see on the field at the moment.
You've got to see what he's going for here, Dan. He's going to go for the mine play to protect the mortar, but it only takes that half track to get behind that hedgerow, and it looks likely that it could possibly. It may be able to hit the mortar. It can hit the mortar. This is terrible positioning from HelpingHans. He's fallen into a trap, and that trap is an inferno.
It is, yeah, but he does have the Cromwell to come and try and deal with the situation. He's got to make sure that he can prevent any more flame damage on the area damage going in from that Flamen half-track. And I think, we spoke about this in a previous game with building the mortar pit there, and I don't know if you remember me saying, it is susceptible. It is very susceptible to that happening. And, it's great play from Luvnest to just take advantage of that straight away.
Professor Cromwell's going to be protecting the mortar, it seems, for now. And it doesn't look likely that Luvnest will be able to find a niche or an angle to take out the mortar for now, so he might need to get his Pack 40 in position to push away the Cromwell and then resume his work of getting rid of that mortar pit. Elsewhere, we do see Luvnest laying down the support armor core, so he'll have his tier 3 answers to the Cromwell very shortly. Does have decent fuel.
It's looking in a good position for Luvnest. I mean, bear in mind, neither player has picked commanders yet. Hans does have access to the land mattress, which, if he continues his build along this way, I think he'll probably go for another tank. The land mattress would just switch up all of the support weapons that Luvnest has, possibly clearing any potential mines that Luvnest has laid in the process. And then we're looking at, a really good play potentially from the Cromwell. Hans is doing a bit of dangerous crushing there whilst the AT gun is in wait. Will the AT gun track back? Does, gets a cheeky little shot off.
Very cheeky attack ground there, possibly through the hedgerow. Was able to get it just about, and the Cromwell is now going to be repaired by the same Royal Engineer repairing the still on fire mortar pit, or at least on my version of the game it's still on fire. And as I said, Dan, I think this game is so well poised for a long confrontation. One of these 50-minute all-time classic battles that we saw so much of in 2016 between these two players. What a treat we're in for today.
Yeah. We could even be seeing 5 of these, which would be really, really grueling, not just for players, also for the poor casters that are having to sit and watch these battles unfold over time. But,
I feel honoured. I love it. This is why we've done this tournament. This to me is awesome. You have to just give your body up, Dan. You just have to say, I'm going in work tired tomorrow. My voice is going to be raspy, but it's going to be worth it. Flame half-track resuming position, Dan. Is it where it needs to be to take it out? He's got the Grenadier watching over the flank. He's again licking down the flames, and brace structure is enabled. Cromwell's reversing into position to get that cannon, and the flame half-track is reversing thanks to that very good gaming headset that Luvnest owns.
There's some really good support here this time because the Panzer Grenadiers are coming in. You've got Grenadiers for the Faust in case that happens. Didn't want to open up with the Shreks on the mortar pit there, but this half-track stands to be, you know, Vet 3 at the moment. It stands to just go back in and do a lot of damage. Hans has to be very careful about how he manages this because obviously there is a situation where the Cromwell could be in danger. Good timing by Luvnest though as he puts the flames in again on the mortar half pit. That goes down. Well,
there you go with the 1-2 combo, but also the mortar that just took out the mortar pit has been taken out by infiltration commandos. These infiltration commandos, the Irishmen, are in a difficult position now because the half-track's putting flame down here, but here comes the Cromwell taking out the half-track, helping Hans with the big plays.
What a play from Hans there. What a counter push. He already had the commandos out on the field doing the decrewing. Now all he's got to deal with is all the support weapons have dropped. That was an amazing time to push. Luvnest could not handle that assault.
Luvnest did the right thing. He managed to get rid of the mortar pit, but he's lost 2 support weapons in a half track in the meantime. And this Cromwell, you can bet your life, is going to be targeting the AT gun now.
Yeah, he should be trying to target that to make sure it can't be recrewed by Luvnest, and it looks like he will get away with it. But there is a Panzer IV on the field now, so at least there's something to contest against the Cromwell, whilst Luvnest tries to regain control. He's gone for the southern VP as well. I think it's an excellent decision, whilst he could have lost the right side, but he's held it. He's held it relatively well.
Do not forget that that was Hans trading very well there. 520 manpower of Luvnest was lost for the expense of 400. So that was a trade of 120. So neither of these two players have traded too much there. HelpingHans, of course, lost that squad in the early game. So to be honest, this is still every man's to play for.
Looks like he's managed to get the support structure back up again, reclaims his mortar. It's going to be important for him to keep flushing out the sniper, keep the Brits out of their cover positions. I mean, it still isn't looking very good for Hans on terms of VPs at the moment. I think he's waiting for the, must be waiting for the land mattress, surely.
Also, Royal Engineer did go down, so in all honesty, it's still a very well-balanced game. It could be anybody's. Luvnest has had superior victory point control, though, it must be said. And he's still got commander choice, so he could be getting a Tiger in the late game. Did the Cromwell just do a handbrake turn for you?
I wasn't on the Cromwell at that point, actually. I was watching...
Trundling down the hill and literally did like a bird rubber kind of 7 fast, 8 furious spin. It was awesome.
Oh, I was expecting that the land mattress might get clicked, and of course, here it is coming on the field right now. I think this is probably that unit that might start to change this VP control situation for Hans, because he's going to be able to blast this right down the center. The mortar, the MG, any of the Grens, these all stand to be affected. You know, and Luvnest is split, you know, left and right on the map at the moment, so a good push through the center could completely cut him off from all those resources in one big hit, and I think Hans would do that. He'd go through the center vigorously and control that, so there's a good chance for him to get this this map control situation very much back on track.
Enemies trying to take a point from us.
Cromwell, 6-pounder. Sniper on Veterancy 2 with 16 kills. HelpingHans is amassing a great army. But he's got one thing that really helps now. Stand to attention, gentlemen. Her Majesty's land mattress is firing, and it's a glorious sound for all Britishmen to rejoice.
Land mattress does exactly the job it was intended to do, clearing out that center area so that Hans can get control of VP center. Cromwell comes up to push the field, and now there isn't that building with the sight vantage and the position for the MG to hold that is safe. This is where Luvnest really has to start thinking about how he is going to start to push Hans back in this game.
Land mattress there, only getting 2 kills, only a minority of kills, not a majority. Very Theresa May-esque barrage.
Really?
Yeah, that's right, I went there. But this game is so evenly poised at the moment. The Panzerschrecks are trundling through the centre. They've got the Cromwell in its sights, but the Cromwell is an expert at taking out infantry, and very well shown there with a great shot in against the expert unit.
Luvnest has to be so careful about his retreats because, of course, Commandos and the Tommies, Vet 5 with the Brens upgraded. are going to be closing the retreat points through that narrow corridor there. This could be an opportunity for the commanders to go down there with a good shot from the Panzer IV. It does. It wipes both models. A really nice pickup there for Luvnest.
That was a brutal pickup from that Panzer IV. It did well, but here comes the comeback from HelpingHans with the sniper ability and the 6-pounder follow-up, but doesn't seem likely to be enough.
There's a lot going on here at the moment. It all revolves around this central engagement. You've got indirect fire from Luvnest, the mortar pounding down on the church. Maybe he's going to drop some rifle nades in to weaken the structure of the building. But an AT gun with the Cromwell combination in the center. Bear in mind you've got the sniper providing stun shots and turret locking the Panzer IV when it comes in. Creating lots and lots of difficult engagements for Luvnest to get out of. But I mean, I actually think the trick here, Luvnest is doing the right thing, because whilst Hans is so focused in the center, Luvnest has controlled his resources. He's controlled the VP, he's advanced in VPs right now, so he has time to build up his late game. And he hasn't picked a commander yet, so he still stands to gain an advantage in that respect.
That's a very good point. I think HelpingHans has great mid-game potential. I think the land mattress is a great mid-game unit for dealing with the 3 support weapons Luvnest has. What about late-game armor? HelpingHans is going to have Cromwells, and Luvnest could utilize a commander in the late game that really could make the difference. As you see, the land mattress with its second volley, not hitting too much at the moment. Not hitting too much, it's hit more than enough now. Pack 40 decrewed. MG going to be possibly decrewed. Cromwell coming in for the kill. Here come the Pierts. Here come the British forces.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot at stake right now. Double Shreks open up and make target with the Cromwell. There is a Shrek on the floor Luvnest can pick up, but he doesn't decide to pick it up. He is going to continue to push with the Panzer Grenadiers as they try to encounter another Cromwell that's on the field now. Backed up with the Panzer IV, he could start to do some damage in pushing back. Nearly loses the squad there to an off shot from the Cromwell, but he is going to maintain control of the VP, which is the important thing right now in all these engagements, that VP control.
The victory point control is crucial. It's the most vital resource in Company of Heroes. People say manpower, fuel, munitions, population cap, time. No, at the end of the day, this is a victory point control game mode, and that's the most important thing, especially at a tournament.
Yeah, VPs really count, and Hans has managed to take 100 back. But he is kind of locked down into this central thing. He hasn't even attempted really to go to the right side, and he'd probably have great success there, because with some minesweepers there going on that right side, he'd be easily be able to clear up with the Cromwell. Question is, would Luvnest take that opportunity to push through the center? There's a lot to think about. So Hans, it looks like he's going to go for a resource decap. Luvnest is going to have to deal with slightly to the north of Kolodny. And a third Cromwell is coming in.
Third Cromwell coming in. These things have been HelpingHans' godsend into Company Heroes competitive play throughout 2016. He was able to utilize the Cromwell to such great effect so many times. Here comes the Grenadiers, though. One with the Panzer Shrek, Veteracy 3. We're going to call that the Terminator Squad, which obviously just got executed as soon as I said it by the sniper.
Everything always does. That is the caster's curse. We do have a doctrine choice for Luvnest picked now. It's going to be Blitzkrieg, which does give him access to late game Ju-87s, also the Command Panzer IV, which we just saw come onto the field now. Giving general buffs to his army that's going to help him really deal with taking those Cromwells down with the infantry he's got. Speaking of which, we may be seeing that right now.
More Cromwells than he can handle, though, and they're coming in down, they're trundling in. They're trying to deal with the Panzer Shreks as well. They're trying to counter the Panzer IV. But here comes the Command Panzer to the rescue, bouncing off the Cromwell and living to fight another day for HelpingHans. There's your luck. You waited 6 years. There it is.
Yeah, he did get lucky in that engagement. He got very lucky in the engagement. Where he wasn't lucky, though, was in the south. Losing a model, dropping a Bren, recapping the Bren with his model, and losing the model, losing another Bren. Well, and then he retreats without the Bren. Very unfortunate situation there. So lucky in some areas, unlucky in the others. But Luvnest is going to have to be lucky here as the land mattress roars in.
The land mattress is firing its third volley in this game. Not finding too many marks this time, but it's done more than enough damage so far. 8 kills. It's been much better than the mortar HelpingHans built in that inexplicable area of the map earlier. I think, Dan, with the mattress, it's one of those situations where it used to be that it fired so quickly you couldn't get out of its way, but now it's one of those situations that if it fires in the right place, it's like a car crash in slow motion. You know what's happening. You've got time to react, but you can't quite get out of the way in time still.
Yeah, it is a difficult one to come up against, and especially when you do get closed into this area on Kolodny, because it's especially effective here, just because of the places that Ostir or just the Axis in general can get pushed to when playing from this side of the map. So yeah, it can be absolutely devastating, but you know, I think we do have a good ground here because there's 3 Cromwells on the field at the moment, but lots of AT on the infantry. Luvnest is managing this very, very well right now and dealing lots of damage. May see a rifle nade going on the Tommies on the munitions in north here. In fact, Hans is just going to retreat out of that engagement, but you know, once again, we're just seeing Luvnest paying very good attention to VPs. He's going to be able to call in Ju-87s soon, which might help him with pushing the field a little bit. The VPs in previous games, you know, that's where Hans has lost out.
I know what Luvnest's doing right now. He's trying to tempt Hans in. He's trying to bring those Cromwells in. He's much like Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Predator. Do it now. He's got a trap. He's laid that trap and he's baiting him. He wants those Cromwells to come in, but it does not matter because the 6-pounder from max range takes out the Panzerfear. Jesus Christ. I thought he was at good range then, but Hans sure taught him a lesson.
Yeah, Hans is just going to go in with these Cromwells now. There isn't too much that will stop him. He'll try and crush the infantry with the Cromwells, but Ju-87s are going to be coming in. Let's see where they decide to target. One of them's going to go for the northern Cromwell. Looks like the second one may be tracing that direction as well. A couple of shots on Cromwell in the central VP. And I think Luvnest is trying to get Faust.
But he lost his Panzerfear, so he was not able to make the trap work. And all 3 Cromwells have survived. He's having to build a Sturmgeschütz to stay competitive. And he got scuppered. He'd laid the trap perfectly, but then the trap went off in his face. And it's not what he wanted to happen.
I think we see commandos popped out somewhere. Hans is popping commandos whilst the land mattress is firing down the support weapons, possibly looking to try and get max value out of this. Does he throw the Gammon Bomb? Yes, he does. Will he get it on the retreat? It's a nice Gammon Bomb. Just misses out on taking down the MG.
This land mattress did decent work that time, 9 kills. To be honest, if Luvnest was in a commanding position, he'd probably want to try and take out that land mattress, but HelpingHans has built such a citadel of mines with the 6-pounder watching over. You can't foresee Luvnest gaining a position of power in order to get rid of it. The one thing in his power, though, Dan, is victory points right now.
Victory points have been very, very good, and I really like, as I keep saying, that he's paying a lot of attention to that, because it's giving him a lot of time to play in this game. Now, I do think there's a really good combination here, because he'll be able to get vision with these Pioneers. He's going to be able to utilize the Stug very well. He's got the Command Panzer IV to help those Panzer Grenadiers as they go up and deliver shots with the Panzerschrecks against the Cromwells. So, you know, he's got a good loadout on the field. The only thing that's really going to come down to is, you know, how he deals with the land mattress, how he deals with any kind of capping that's going around, and you know, Luvnest is secure in that sense. So even after everything that's happened, he's still in a very, very good position.
A bit of bad luck there for Luvnest. He wanted to finish off a Cromwell and needed to utilise the church in order to finish it off with the Panzerschrecks, but was not able to do so thanks to the church's really low health. Little bit of bad luck for him. But in general, it's a very evenly poised battle still. Both players have had their wins, both players have had their losses. Luvnest now has the 2 tanks he needs. Possibly needs a Pak-40 to back them up though. And he doesn't have the munitions to utilise the Ju-87s at the moment. So if the Cromwells get full health and push, there's little to stop them, quite frankly.
It is, yeah, and I mean, Hans actually just lost his commandos in the north not too long ago. Lost them to what I believe was a mine with some grenadiers waiting there to finish them off. So it's a big blow for him again, because you know, those units, they're camouflaging, they're going in, they're dealing a lot of damage, and losing those is going to be very difficult for him, as Luvnest just camps these VPs. And Hans could go north. I think maybe, you know, when we look back on this game, he could go north and he could dominate from the north. But he's going to continually engage Luvnest from the center, and I think Luvnest is, you know, he's starting to nail it down.
He is. He's looking very strong. I mean, HelpingHans is clearly his a worthy foe. Cromwell's now repaired. They're looking menacing. However, they just eat a big shot from the Sturmgeschütz, and then a double shot from the Panzerschreck, and that Cromwell is going to have to get out of there with its tail between its legs. And the other 2 are probably thinking, F that, I'm not going into that melee.
Very interesting that Hans may be losing to a triple cap in a second, because if Luvnest, who's just gone down south to grab the VP with the Minesweeper Pioneers, if he manages to take that, Hans will be losing 1 VP per second for a little bit of time. And its VPs are definitely telling the story of this game at the moment. The land mattress is coming in there, trying to push away the mortar and any of the retreating squads through the center. Even the Stug is having to retreat from the pressure from the land mattress.
This land mattress is a beast. It's causing all kinds of problem for Luvnest. He has to reposition, and his control of the center is immediately relinquished thanks to the land mattress.
It is look at the medium cover that it's created as well. Lots of medium cover. You may argue that works in favour of Luvnest. He's going to be able to fight out of cover positions nearly constantly.
He gets received accuracy buffs no matter where the land mattress hits him next time. Stug in a difficult position. He's going to have to get out of there. Oh, God! The attack ground at max range nearly destroying the assault gun there. As the Cromwells are now in it for the game. They're going to go for this Panzerfear command tank. They do get Panzerschrecks in the rear, but that Panzer Grenadier's got to retreat. Here comes the Panzerfear on the off-map. Smoke pop from the Panzer Tactician of the commander, and the Panzerfear is blocking that Cromwell.
Gosh, this is a very, very tense one. A flank that maybe did not seem to work there. Only an abandon there. No actual tank kill. Panzerforce trying to deal with the Cromwell on the northern side, but after this it's going to have to go back. And it doesn't actually get the kill. It only gets very low health. War speed has come out of that one.
Another Panzerfaust is ready. He does have munitions. He will be able to take this Cromwell out. Doesn't need it thanks to the Panzerfear. What a tense engagement down there. There was so much going on there in 2 different avenues of play. Oh my God, this game is so detailed. In this particular game between these 2 particular players, there's so much going on.
Hans barely made it out of that engagement. Fortunately, he had war speed, which allowed him to get away from the Panzer IV there, but now we have the land mattress ready to fire again, unleashing on the center VP. Hans realizing that VPs are of the essence as he drops to 144 at this point. Really, where does Luvnest go for here, though? Because he's spent a lot of his fuel. He's got a lot of time before he's going to get more armor on the field. And his late game, I mean, you know, this is kind of like a medium vehicle game for the rest of this.
That Stug sadly died a death there. It was in such a terse engagement. It was a battle of who could reload first, and the British tankers were able to reload just that split second faster and get the killing blow. Cromwell firing through the smoke, trying to get rid of these Grenadiers. HelpingHans is clearly vastly aware of the situation in front of him. That situation being that Luvnest has victory point control and maintains that control with the capping of the central victory point, should he make it. Bundle nade goes in, expertly dodged by HelpingHans. Great micro from the Englishman.
Will he make it, of course, with that British artillery from the base that is now going to be raining down on central VP. Got the Command Panzer IV there to try and make life a little bit easier for those infantry, but Hans is going to go in with another Cromwell, which means we could be seeing a repeat of that assault, and Hans just needs to make that work one time in order to close this game. Luvnest has just spotted that dropped Bren from earlier, and if Luvnest is a little bit further forward now, he will be able to get a triple cap in again, so...
All the best tournament players in Kona Heroes history have always prioritised victory points in a competitive game. You do have your players that try and close out in the early game but ignore victory points, but it all comes back to the VPs. And Luvnest has shown us just why in this game, as HelpingHans is slipping down to 125 and lower.
A triple cap here would mean 2 minutes of gameplay left if Luvnest can hold it. So I don't think that's going to be the case, though, because Hans has just got his 3rd Cromwell on the field. You've got 1 Cromwell going up to the north. One's probably going to harass the mid with a little bit of support from the sniper. Sniper's under fire from the mortar. And that Vet 3 mortar now is hopefully going to be able to land that killing blow on the sniper with that luck shot. But what a tense game. It is a very tense game. And Hans, who potentially has the superior build for the moment, hasn't been able to utilize it quite to its maximum potential yet.
So let me, for all 1,600 viewers, no front page, no hosting, pure go-to community at its full strength. Let me absolutely tell you exactly what these guys are fighting for here. £1,400 is up for grabs in Leicester, England, in a true esports venue, as the Grenadiers in a difficult retreat path to the south there. In a true esports venue, ESL Studio 1. One player will hold their trophy aloft if they make it to the final to play there. And this semi-final is all hype as the Cromwell's coming against the Panzerfear. Smoke is popped thanks to the Panzer Tactician. However, it's a difficult engagement. Cromwells are in it to win it here.
That should be easy enough for Hans to close in. The real question is, can he get this Panzer IV? He's bringing the second Cromwell in, but it has to lean out and go through the mid again, because I don't think he's going to be able to close it. He needs to be very, very careful with this Cromwell in the base, though, because a Stug hits the field. That's a Vet 3 Cromwell, and I think one more shot from that, maybe covered by smoke there, needs to get the ground attack, misses. Again, that Cromwell escapes from the situation.
So lucky with the Cromwell escapes in this game has HelpingHans been. Not just lucky, extremely skillful as well to get reversing just in the nick of time and judge the moment perfectly. But here we go, we've got the land mattress. Her Majesty is opening up again and she's bellowing a broth of hatred, a vile hatred upon the Wehrmacht. That Vet 3 mortar is going to have to get the hell out of dodge. Let's very quickly sort of speak about the armies we've got in front of us. Of course, we've got Cromwells, we've got Sturmgeschütz, we've got Panzer IVs, but the infantry is heavily vetted from both fronts. We've got a Vet 3 sniper with 34 kills. Both of these guys have what it takes to win this game, but the important thing is in the top center of your screen, and that is HelpingHans has 74 victory points, and he's just about stemmed the bleed. Luvnest, all he needs to do is have one successful push, control 2 victory points, and he can close this out. So HelpingHans is always going to be on the precipice of disaster at any one moment.
It's a very fine balance. I kind of feel bad for Luvnest in the respect that a lot of times he's been trying to build this kind of tier 3 loadout on the field, and every time, like just when he gets to the peak of he's probably comfortable to start pushing out, Hans comes in with this absolute horde of Cromwells at the moment. We're going to see it here again now. I think maybe we have War Spear. No, it's actually without War Spear. Genuine speed from the Cromwell right now. As that goes in, will it survive up against the Panzer IV? It's trying to do a lot of damage to the rear armor, losing out a little bit itself. No penetration on this one. And Hans is just sweeping in, going out, repairing, and orbiting again. It's really good gameplay from Hans, just constantly keeping that pressure on.
These Cromwells have been so tenacious. They've pushed in and they've gotten out. They've been on a raid mission throughout this entire 38-minute contest. There's 2 of the original Cromwells still surviving with a lot of veterancy. Now we've got a veterancy 3-1. And it's gotten HelpingHans into this game. And Luvnest has got no other choice than to rebuild the Pack 40.
It's a sensible thing for him to do, really. Hopefully he's going to be able to get it Vet 1 and take advantage of the stun shot in that land mattress coming in again. This is one of Hans's best ideas that he has in order to just keep harassing the support structure. The land mattress is doing huge damage this time, though. Nearly wiping the support weapons. Wipes the mortar. Still firing on the retreat. A chance it could get the MG. Very fortunate that he doesn't get out.
So unfortunate for Luvnest and very fortunate for HelpingHans. You realise he used infiltration commandos, lost 3 models instantly, was able to get a grenade off and get away just in time. So there was 2 things happening there. Not just was the land mattress ravaging Luvnest's forces for the 7th time this game, but HelpingHans very luckily got away with the infiltration commandos.
Yeah, he hasn't been particularly lucky with those in general this game, so this guy needs to count his stars, to be honest. But it looks like we might get a triple cap for Hans. Finally, exactly what he needs, really, because he's only on 74 VPs right now. Luvnest has 300 VPs worth of time to play with and get some counter on the field, so this is far from over yet. But the real question is, we've got Ju-87s coming up, we've got the Panzer IV, we've got the Stug. Is he going to go for that Command Panzer IV, sorry, or is he going to go for another Panzer IV in order to try and deal with the situation?
I think either of those 2 options would be great. He's going for another Sturmgeschütz, which is a good option. He's got a Pack 40. He realises that HelpingHans' strength has been not only the land mattress, but the Cromwell play. It's been largely unmitigated. Of course, he was able to deal with 1 earlier in the game, but in general, the overall meta has been unmitigated. So now he's going to have to double down on that in order to solidify his position and get the victory points. He has to deal with the Cromwells.
Oh, this is great play from Hans here. He drives up to the building in the center, delivers some ground attack shots through the building to try and take health down on the Panzer IV. Takes it down to half health, which means he's got another great opportunity where these 3 Cromwells could tear up the field again. He's in such a dominant position now, and I think he'll capitalize on it. I think he will take that chance.
He's going to have to take big chances. I think Luvnest, though, is taking the biggest gamble of all, and he's going to have to take it because he needs to destroy the Cromwells and push the victory points for one last time. Helping Hans' army's building up in size and veterancy, so he's got a difficult task ahead of him, and of course the land matches will always be ready to mitigate any Pack 40 play. So we've got a big battle ahead of us. And it's going to be such a dramatic contest because it'll be to decide game one, yes, but also who's got psychological advantage. Look at that brutal line of Cromwells, and the snipers also backing them up. That Pack 40 did not stand a chance.
How often do you get treated to this kind of medium vehicle battles? We've got 3 and 3 here at the moment. They're both lining up to face each other in a battle that, quite frankly, we don't have a guaranteed winner for yet. And Luvnest is actually confident now to push up the field. He's got the Grenadiers for sight. He's got the 2 Stoogs waiting for one of those Cromwells to push out a little bit. Luvnest has to hit the retreat against the land mattress, which is a nice little stalling point for Hans. But Luvnest is definitely gearing up for something special.
He's got to gear up for something special. This is asking a lot of Luvnest. He's got 2 Sturmgeschütz, a Panzerveer. He's got the Stukas waiting with their Jericho sirens ready to wail. He's lost a lot of infantry, a lot of support weapons in this game thanks to the land matches and the Cromwells. But here we go. He's got the assault guns ready. They take out possibly the Cromwell. One more volley required. Cromwell gets behind the husk of a church to escape just about.
This is sensitive situation in the south AE by the VP. Luvnest needs to get the decap, possibly the cap, so he's going to have to spend his time now microing around, but a nice shot from the Cromwell clears 2 of the models, a lot of the health as well. So got to be very, very careful there that he doesn't lose that Minesweeper squad. Sending the Stoogs down to deal with it, which could be dangerous given how Hans has been pushing deep to flank.
Such an odd thing, though. He's size better of it. The Stoogs are not hunters. They're not suited to the hedgerows of Western France. They're suited to the open plains of the steppe in Western Russia and the Ukraine. That's where the Stoogs are good, on open territory. You don't want to go hunting with them.
Could we see that god shot from the Panzer IV there on the sniper? We do not. And again, I'm surprised he's even sending this in with the health that it's got, because you know, he's got to be full health going in these engagements, otherwise he can put himself in a pretty bad position.
He doesn't have to be desperate quite yet, does Luvnest. He's not in a desperate situation. He's got 225 victory points. Helping Hans has a lot less, so he's wisely rebuilt his army. He's got another Pioneer. He's recruited the Pack 40 now, so he's also recruited the Mortar. So he's going to be able to lay down smoke. He's going to be able to push. Here come the commandos down, making use of the moonscape that the land mattress has created for them. They're hunting and they're looking for a target. They find the MG and they throw the light gammon bomb there. Oh, and get destroyed!
The commandos go down instantly to the Panzer IV there, which was beautiful. We were talking earlier about the land matches creating so much medium cover, and we used to talk about this with partisans tactics for the Soviets. Because that medium cover's been created, the commandos can just sneak up the battlefield. So he's got this great synergy between his units right now. He's actually created an environment. He's terraformed to the point that the commandos can go in stealthed and deal with the support weapons at close range. And it's such a nice little addition to what the state of the map is right now.
Yep, that's right. When you turn it into the moon, your commandos suddenly become like they've been taken down on a Saturn V rocket and they're in their element and their spacesuits, jumping around and throwing light gammon bombs and singing a pretty song, quite frankly. You need to stop saying quite frankly, Dan. It's our phrase of the day is the Grenadiers on a difficult retreat path through the rockets. Will they make it home to safety? They just about managed to do so.
Through the rockets, indeed. He narrowly dodged through the rockets there, quite frankly, and yeah, it's looking like a delicate situation. I'm actually surprised Luvnest is holding this, but I think he's baiting him in. I actually think he's baiting him in right now. He's got the Ju-87s on standby. He's pulling back into his base slowly. As soon as Hans comes in for that kind of game-winning shot, exactly, it will be a trap. The Ju-87s will light up. Then we'll see maybe stun shots from the Stoogs, maybe low health Cromwells. It could be a beautiful counterplay.
Cromwell's come in. Oh god, and the 6-pounder execute that Panzerveer beautifully at max range with the sight bonus given by the Royal Engineers. Helping Hans was a surgeon with a scalpel there. He dissected Luvnest and pulled one of his vital organs out and held it aloft and said, "You're mine, bitch."
That was unfortunate, really, because once again, Luvnest nearly in a position where he's comfortable to push out, and Hans goes in and clears a unit. And it's just constantly been like this whole game. where Hans is just making very, very good time, well-timed pushes.
There you go, the Stug finding a good angle on the Cromwell, but it does seem that Luvnest is in a pocket here. He's in the Kessel, and HelpingHans is, quite frankly, boiling a pot of water underneath the cauldron, and Luvnest doesn't look like he can survive much longer inside this. His victory point count's getting ever closer to what HelpingHans is on his delicate 61, but HelpingHans just has the material advantage, and he's constantly pushing it.
It's really impressive how well Luvnest is dealing with this, because a lot of players would fall to just one of these pushes from Hans. Luvnest is still here after the third push and still making a really good go of it. We just see Sniper deliver a stun shot there. Main gun is destroyed. Hans is going to come in with the Cromwell, clear up. Oh, it looks like a deflection.
What? Oh, that Sturmgeschütz was made with Kruppstahl, the best Kruppstahl ever. You know, from the Hitler's personal foundry. That Stug is somehow still alive. Dear God.
We're just waiting for Luvnest to flick on the Ju-87s. When that happens, like, will he push? How will he push? The Cromwells will be off the field for a short amount of time, but we still have the AT gun to worry about. Commandos are now camping in the center. Hans has just used crew repairs there to get his vehicles. They're in 3 positions on the map here, and now all of them are going to be statically repairing whilst under cover of smoke.
They have 100 points remaining.
6-pounder yet again finds the Sturmgeschütz and puts it in a very difficult position. Indeed, he's going to have to get out of here. And here comes His Majesty's land mattress finding the Grenadiers. Very luckily, these 3 Grenadiers have to keep pushing on, because if they retreat, they're dead.
Oh, he pushes the retreat.
Oh, he
they take a
retreats anyway.
very unfavourable retreat path there. Somehow
the
managed to
algorithm was not
survive.
in his favour then. He was 1 pixel too far to the north there. If he'd gone 1 pixel a little bit further south, he would have gone through the gap, but he didn't. Unfortunate.
Enemy down to 75 points.
Oh, no, Luvnest. A little bit of an overextension there with the AT gun. Can he cover it with anything? The Stug is there, but now it's turned its armor a little bit, where Hans's other Cromwell can come in and find the rear armor. If he overextends a little bit, Hans may decide this is the opportunity. He does, and it looks like the Cromwells are going in for the push. There's the
Here come the Cromwells.
Ju-87.
The Stug's got it. It's damaged. The Ju-87's coming to save the day. Will they be able to do it? The Jericho Sirens are going to start wailing. Here come their big anti-tank strafing cannons. The Stug's trying to reverse. The Cromwells are on overdrive thanks to the road, and they get the killing blow.
They do indeed. That triple Cromwell's still just dominating the field at the moment. Luvnest forced to surrender there finally, but a 48-minute game in game 1A, and neither player looking particularly weak in that matchup.
People started to say GCS was a bit of a damp squib, didn't they? All these 3-0s everywhere, and all of a sudden the semi-finals have been off the chain in every regard so far. In this game 1 of this second best of 5 of today, we just see an all-time classic, quite frankly.
That was a very impressive game indeed. I think, funnily enough, like, and we say this about Hans a lot, he just paid no attention to VPs for the majority of that game. Which really worried me, if I'm totally honest with you. But actually, we just saw that nice flip around when he had that build. When Hans has optimum build, he uses it very, very well. And not even Luvnest could contain that. But Luvnest played equally well, you know.
He played damn well. And just to talk about the overall matchup between these guys, a lot of fans of both players, the 2 most popular streamers, down in Von Ivan, in Co2, they've got a lot of fans. You see